Go ahead and call tonight's regular city council meeting to order. Tonight's invitation, we have Jones, Taylorville Church.
God, on this night where we're thinking about tomorrow and thinking about choosing new leaders across our country, we're reminded of how blessed we are that we can share our thoughts, our opinions. We can disagree in word as we speak and when we go to the voting booth. And God, we ask that you would be with our country tomorrow, that you would guide that voting process. We pray that it would be peaceful and fair as it has been throughout our history, and that you would guide the process to choose the right people. God, we pray you bless this meeting as well, that you would be present in it and guide it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Here.
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 Here. Here. All 8 aldermen present. First thing we have is a motion to utilize the omnibus vote for approval of the minutes of the previous meetings and the public hearing list on tonight's agenda under the title of omnibus vote destination. The motion by Alderman Dorchenez, second by Alderman Jones. Discussion or comment? Roll call.
Sean Burley.
Yes.
Ernie Martinez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Bill Howard.
Yes.
Mark Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes. Motion passes 8-0. Okay, the minutes we'll be approving will be the minutes of the public hearing held October 17th, 2016. Minutes of the regular meeting held October 17th, 2016. Minutes of the Street and Sewer Committee meeting held October 27th, 2016. Minutes of the Public Facilities Committee meeting held October 27th, 2016. Minutes of the Emergency Services Committee meeting held November 3rd, 2016. And minutes of the Personnel Committee meeting held November 3rd, 2016. I entertain a motion to those, Your Honor. Alderman Walters, second by Alderman Heatherly. Discussion or comment? Roll call.
Ernie Martinez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Bill Howard.
Yes.
Mark Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burley.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Okay, next we have a motion to approve Police Chief Brian Hiles' appointment of Vince Childers as the Deputy Police Chief.
No move, Your Honor.
Alderman Bertle, second by Alderman Walters. Discussion or comment? Roll call.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Bill Howard.
Yes.
Mark Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burley.
Yes.
Ernie Dorchenez.
Yes. Motion passes 8-0. And I'd ask the city clerk, please administer the oath of office.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of Deputy Police Chief according to the best of your ability?
I do.
Your indulgence, we'll go ahead and move down the one item up on the agenda. It's a motion regarding the 3-inch course main sanitary sewer Calvary Baptist Church. I'd like to ask Engineer Joe Green, any comments on that issue?
Mr. Schweitzer is here in the audience, he's sitting back there. The church would like to develop their 18 acres on the northern part of Taylorville, on the west side of 29. They have no sanitary sewer out there, and they would like to have a sewer put in as fast as they can. And so we developed a lift station and a force main. And I went to IDOT to get permission to get the force main on the state right away. And they said we could put it there as long as the city would maintain it. And so, I talked to the church, and we could draw up agreement that, we will maintain it if there's any issues with the sanitary sewer. It's designed for 250 PSI, pipe, and the lift station pressure is generally around 30 PSI or something in that order. So it's got a factor of safety of about 5 times what's the normal operating pressure. The question is, a lot of times is, can we, the city use this for somebody else that needs to get a sewer? It could be used for that, but you'd have to do an interconnect between the lift stations so they wouldn't be working at the same time. So, and the church would have a say in that, whether they would agree to that or not, because it would be some electronic changes on their station in order to coordinate the two stations. So, it's about a $34,000 to $40,000 project, and it's yellow line pipe, and it's the type of pipe that you can't pull apart, and we'll tap it into that 30-inch sanitary sewer at Panther Creek, and that's it. And it would run parallel to 29, about 4,000 feet up there to the church property.
Basically no cost to the city.
No cost to the city.
That does in our budget.
Alderman Walters. I have a question for you. How far off of the highway surface is this line going to be roughly?
It's 3 feet from the right-of-way line, so it's as far out as you can get.
And how deep?
That's a requirement by IDOT. They want it as far out of from the edge of the road as possible. So we're 3 feet from the right-of-way.
How deep will it be?
We're running as much as 10 feet, and we got it all on a grade, believe it or not, because up where the church is, it's at the high point, and so it's got a gradual grade coming down there. So we graded it pretty well to get it to flow by gravity, but it is a force main.
Thank you.
The church is gonna take care of all installation costs. And then as far as maintenance costs, who takes care of those?
The church.
The church will.
Yes.
So if the city does have any costs associated with anything it might have to do, the church will just reimburse the city.
That is the correct.
Okay.
Any questions?
Just one. We're not really anticipating any type of maintenance other than the pump itself, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So it's not like you're gonna be digging up and anything like that. It's gonna be pulling the lid off, picking the pump up.
That's it.
Okay.
Anyone else? Yeah, entertain a motion to approve going ahead with the, giving our approval for the 3-inch force main sanitary sewer.
Mr. Mayor, I think the motion be to direct the city attorney to prepare the necessary ordinance agreement with the Calvary Baptist Church to move forward with the installation of this force main.
That's the same motion.
That was my first, Mr. Walters said.
Second.
He's going to speak up a little.
Second, Alderman Jones. Additional discussion, comments? Roll call, please.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Mike Boda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Mary Beth.
Yes.
Tom Burtle.
Yes.
Buddy Bush.
Yes.
Al Campbell.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0.
Thank you, Mr.
All right. Moving on, we'll have a resolution, amendment number 10, to agreement for engineering services with Benton Associates Incorporated. This is related to the water system improvements and new water treatment plant. Dorchenez, second.
Second.
Alderman Boda, discussion or comment?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Alderman Jones.
On this, is this in addition to this project? Taking it from 6 million down to 4 million, correct?
Correct.
Yes. They said they were designing this as a 6 million, and that we could put a 4 million in with no problem. where's the extra $345,000?
It's the redesign.
354.
We've already, this resolution, we've already voted on this at the last meeting. This is the resolution.
I wasn't here at the last meeting.
This is the resolution to confirm that.
Okay.
And it's mainly done because of the water rates. Nobody would support an increase in the water rate any more than what's already going.
I agree. I was in on those meetings as well. Okay.
I think his question was, this is a $354,000 addition.
It is.
To redesign the project on
It
the
is.
sixth.
That's what I'm saying. When they told us that they were going to design it, they could design it for up to $6 million. And that if we went back to $4 million, if we decided that that's what we wanted to do instead of going all the way to $6 million, and we were all in favor of the $6 million, that backing that project down wouldn't be any problem. That's kind of like $354,000 worth of a problem.
You don't have much of a choice if you go for when you design it for $6 million, and then you determine that the revenues are in excess than what you want to spend. Okay.
I'm voting for it, but I feel like it's a bill that maybe it could be trimmed down a little bit.
Well, they've cut about everything out of there. Mr. Spiegel, you want to have any comments about that on the redesign?
No, I mean, the direction was to do a $6 million
Yeah.
plant. And as the funding was coming short, this redesign basically cuts off about 13,000 square foot of building, in addition to a clarifier. A lot of the redesign is, a lot of the vessels are the same, but to save space in the building, we're been mushing everything together. So, which means columns removing, all the architecture stuff and all the structure stuff too. So I mean, there's a lot to it. It's a big increase, but
Okay.
it's everything in it moving. It's not just cutting out one or two vessels. It's everything's moving, so the structure's changing, post locations, everything. So it's a big plan.
Well, I looked over all the information. I was there at the meeting previously when Jamie talked
Yeah.
about all that. When I saw that number, I was just kind of astounded.
Alderman Miller. I was just going to state that this was cost associated with the redesigning with the engineering side, which we did have to move several items around,
Mhm.
like Superintendent Spiegel stated. That's just to follow up on what Mr. Spiegel stated.
Anyone else before we vote? Roll call.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Next, we have a resolution for maintenance of streets and highways by municipality under the Illinois Highway Code, the MFT funds.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Walters, get a second. Second by Alderman Heatherly. Discussion or comment? Alderman Bud.
I would be voting no against this. I had a discussion today with Superintendent Wiseman. I don't agree with this. We're submitting a resolution here tonight that we have no intent of replacing the dollars out into the general fund. This, when he submits this, and in 2018, when they close this out, there will be none of these dollar amounts will be submitted for reimbursement. We just submitted, did one earlier this year, and there was no dollar amounts for paying back the general fund. If we're going to put these out there, then we need to put them to what we're actually going to do. I talked to IDOT. I was in Jackie's office one day, and he said that you can do a resolution that you're saving this money for future projects, and you don't have to itemize it, is what he told us. And I will not support this with putting something down that we have no intent of following.
Any other comments? Alderman Burdell.
Just a question, and anybody can answer it. I was always under the impression when we did these resolutions, that's where the money went, back in the general fund.
Well, it have to go through the general fund, am I correct? And then it goes back out.
I know, but we're gonna get cloudy here. My question is, will this $400,000 go back in the general fund to replenish the money that they've already spent on the itemized items on the back of this sheet? Okay. I was always under the impression that that's what happened.
Can you tell me, and I don't know if you know,
The last,
before you took the position, is this the way it's always been done?
Yes.
there has been some money put back, it has been put back into it, but it's probably already been allocated for another project to use. So for example, the last one was, I believe, $450,000 that was closed out, that I was able to transfer out of MFT to the general fund, but then that was to be used for East Main Cross.
Technically, we're spending the money twice
No, it's
on
just,
maybe
it's
the
just,
same project.
it's one of those chicken or the egg things first. I mean, that, you know, did the money originally years ago when this all started, I'm guessing it came from the general fund. The concept is you then turn it in, the state gives you money, you supposed to repay the general fund, and what you're saying is what happened is between that time, they said, well, we got projects for next year, and let's get those in line, and when that money comes down there, well, and it just never has.
But whenever those resolutions are turned in to the state in January, February, you have to make sure that on those resolutions that you did spend $400,000, or if the state audits us, then we're in trouble. Because there was an instance in another town where they did that, and so the auditor went to that community and found that that tractor that they were supposed to be spending this money on had a tree growing right up through the middle of it.
Well, my question is, I'm assuming that we took this money out of the general fund on these items.
Yeah.
So, if we're putting in a resolution to get that money back, how come it doesn't come back in the general fund?
As far as I know, Judy is the one that keeps track of everything, and then that she's the one that turns us into IDOT.
It sounds a little fishy. I mean, if Larry's correct in what he just said, when you got from IDOT, it sounds like that if you're requesting money, you should be putting it towards what you're supposed to request.
You're not requesting money, you're requesting reimbursement for everything you've already.
Okay, but we're not reimbursing it, so it sounds like we're going to spend it on something else.
It goes to the general fund, but then it can go out of the general fund to additional projects. That's what we've been doing since Denny Mackey was in office.
Well, I realize that, but that doesn't make it right necessarily. I mean,
IDOT's approved it every single time we've done it.
I mean, I'm sure the state thinks they've done everything right the last 40 years, but they're in hole.
Again, IDOT's approved this every time we've done it.
Just, you know, this money's not just coming from the state, this is our MFT money that we have, that we already have. This is not additional money that they're giving to us. This is money that's in the MFT fund. We're just reimbursing ourselves for costs associated with street and sewer, all of these things, street, sewer, traffic signs, sidewalk replacement. All of that money is money that's coming out of the general fund for street projects, which of course are street and sewers are the different fund, but everything comes out of the general fund. So we use the MFT money just to reimburse ourselves for this. Now, when that money gets in there, we can allocate it wherever we want.
Exactly.
But in order to get it out of the MFT, we have to do this resolution.
You're right.
I'd like to ask the superintendent one question. For 2015, MFT, back in June, I believe it was, thereabouts, you guys submitted to IDOT zero reimbursement for 2015. You left that funds in the motor fuel tax as a rainy day fund, correct?
Yes, the money that we was going to use for 2015, we did not pull any money out of there. So we had the mayor and I signed a paper, and we sent that money, resolution back to them, which left that $400,000 in the MFT. We made a new resolution last year for 2016.
That's correct.
And that's the money that I'm going to draw out to do Cherokee Street. And I may not draw out $400,000. I may only draw out $250,000.
I understand that. But my question to you is, are you reimbursing the general fund for any of these expenses that you put on
No,
this
sir.
resolution?
No, sir.
That's my question. That's
And
what I'm trying to say.
yeah, and you're exactly right. What we're saying, it's been that way for 20 years. Now, if we need to change it, that means he just has to swallow a year and not get $400,000.
But you're submitting a paper saying that you're going to, this is the expenditures that you are asking to be reimbursed. And we have no intent of asking for these funds to be reimbursed and put back in the general fund for our everyday expenses.
But if you didn't put it in there, you couldn't do your projects.
Well, now you're getting me confused. You're saying we're not gonna even ask for it. He's saying we're not asking for it this year to save it, to ask
So
for
you're
it next
putting
year.
it in you're putting it in a rainy day fund. Call it whatever kind of fund you want to do. You're building the motor fuel tax fund up for other projects. But when you submit this, you're actually saying that this is what you want to get reimbursed for. But we don't submit the final resolution. We do not submit for any reimbursement for those general expenses.
Quick question, how come we don't make a resolution to get reimbursed for whatever Cherokee Street costs when it's done?
We can.
Again? I mean, why don't we do that? Or how come we haven't done that in the past?
If you go through just motor fuel tax, you have to do a contracted job. We cannot touch it. If we go through the state to have that bid out and done, it all has to be prevailing wage, the whole 9 yards. The way we're doing it, we can do it, we're using some of our help, and we can bid it out ourselves, and we can specify what material we want to use.
Correct me if I'm wrong. What you're doing is you're leaving the money in Springfield because of the fact that if it comes to Taylorville, and instead of having a separate fund that would go into, it's commingled with all the other monies that are in the general fund. And what, they are. They keep them in a separate fund?
MFT is a separate bank account.
Really? Okay, I'm wrong. That's the only one that I know of. You got another one besides water fund?
I have 38 bank accounts, yes.
Well, usually what happens is the money gets in the general fund and then we spend it on pickup trucks
MFT has to be in
and
its own
potholes.
separate bank
et
account.
cetera. Pardon?
MFT has to be in its own separate bank account.
Then why would we leave it in Springfield?
Because it's hard to draw out.
It's in my bank account right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I was trying to say is, if the way we do it, we draw it out. I make a line, a spreadsheet, just like I did for East Main Cross, at $450,000. Each time I did something, I took it out of that spreadsheet. I can tell you exactly how much money I got left on East Main Cross right now. And that's the way I was going to do Cherokee Street. It'll be $300,000 besides what Larry's got for his utility tax money. So it's going to throw it up around $400,000, and we'll do a spreadsheet and we'll take out just so much every time.
Okay, so what we're saying is that when you're saying refund, put money back in the general fund, it never got to the general fund.
For example, the $450,000 that he transferred out of motor fuel tax to the general fund. If you look at your reports, and I don't have one in front of me tonight, but let's say that there's $3 million in the general fund at the end of the month. We're going to be spending $135,000, but there's about $400,000 in there. We're going to approve some bills tonight. All right. He took that money, put it into there. So $400,000 of that we got to use to pay for these bills. But what I'm saying, for the everyday expenses, motor fuel tax does not reimburse one dime. Not one dime. But yet we're going to submit a proposal tonight saying that the intent is to reimburse the general fund for all of these expenditures.
Alderman Heberlin.
But in a way, all he's doing is skipping one step. All of the individual items on that sheet, let's just say that comes up to $450,000. Now, $400,000. If he was to reimburse that, okay, that cleans the slate of these, and then to pay for his expenses on East Main or Cherokee, then he would be drawing money from the general fund anyway. So the end result is a wash.
It may be.
No, it's not. It is. It is a wash. He's just skipping one step. Now, I understand your point, Larry, but the total dollars is just a wash. if he was to reimburse the general fund for that money, then the general fund would have to, pay for his expenses that he was gonna pay for out of that $400,000.
It would be no different if I may. We're going to sign loan documents for 2 projects. And we take these projects, instead of taking the money that they give us for these 2 projects, we go spend it on another project.
No.
It is the same.
No,
No.
it's not.
You're still submitting something that is wrong.
Let's just, perhaps we can, let's just say that he's got general fund of expenses of $10 listed on here, okay? And he transfers in $10 of MFTs. That pays off all of those expenses in the general fund, correct? Then he's got a $10 project down there that he wants to pay for. The effect on the general fund is the same. It's a wash. He just has skipped a step. I understand what you're talking about, but he has reasons why he doesn't do it that way, because then you've got state spectrum, a whole new ballgame, more expensive projects and everything.
I'm just giving you my opinion.
Yeah.
Can I make a comment on that? Look at the resolution itself. This is an appropriation resolution. These are special designated state funds that can only be spent for certain highway maintenance projects by state statute. If I understand correctly, the motor fuel tax funds comes into the city, is kept into a separate account. You can only spend that account on things that you've appropriated. This is his point. If you're going to appropriate it, those monies have to be spent for that particular project. If in the interim you take general funds to pay for that project, he's saying then that can be properly transferred back to the general fund, out of that special account into the general fund to reimburse for that approved expenditure. But his point's well taken. This is an appropriation. You can only spend it for what you have on this paper. This paper's wrong, it needs to be changed. That's my simple understanding of motor fuel tax operation. Unless this has to be adopted tonight, perhaps a phone call with state people and just get an answer to that might be appropriate.
Did I hear you say this is wrong?
I'm sorry?
He thinks it could be wrong.
If you're not spending the money for what's on here, then this is an appropriation.
That has already been spent, right, or is that?
If it has, it has.
What he plans on spending that?
That's what I plan on spending, Mayor.
If that's the case, then if you plan on spending it, then there should be a
But
proper.
anytime throughout the year, I know you're allowed to redo that, because your plans change.
Yep.
Sure.
So I don't know if there's any problem with it, you're accepting it tonight, knowing that it can be changed.
If you're saying that these things he's got listed on the back are going to be expended during the calendar year 2017, then adopt it.
Are they gonna, yeah, he says they are, so.
Then it's okay.
So, any other questions before we take a roll call? And move on.
But it comes out of the special funds.
Can I make an
Larry, are you
comment?
happy?
So once this resolution gets turned in, and when Judy will turn it in January, IDOT will tell me that, okay, it's okay for you to transfer this much money out of MFT to the general fund. So once it hits the general fund, they say we can spend it on whatever we want to. Even though, but if it's an MFT, I can't take it out of MFT until they tell me I can take it out of MFT.
That's right.
That's correct. But once we get it, it's ours, because the payback of money theoretically we already spent of our
Well,
own.
yeah, because once we, like, if we spend, so for example, we're saying we're gonna spend $30,000 on, labor for street patching, $38,000 for equipment for street patching. Whenever Judy submits this to MFT in January, not this one, but the one that we had out there. From my understanding, it better say $30,000 was spent on street patching and $38,000 was spent on the equipment part of it. And if they audit us and come and look at her books and it's not, then he could be in trouble.
Well, the bottom line, if we did the job, we spent the money.
Exactly.
I got more records.
Yeah.
I got more records than Carter's got pills down there, guaranteeing you that we did do that much work. Because we keep track of everything everybody does, every day, Monday through Friday. And we know exactly how many hours they spend on each job.
Mr. Romano, are you saying that this money ought to go, she said it's in a separate fund. Can you write a check out of that fund?
I cannot unless the, IDOT tells me I can transfer money out of that account.
Dick has.
My question is, I know you can transfer it to the general fund. Can you write a check out of this account before you transfer it?
No.
How do you know, Earl? I don't know.
I have checks number for it now.
What was the answer?
I don't believe I have checks for that account.
Otherwise, once it goes in the general fund, you know, that's when it's commingled with everything else. And that's what's happened in the past. Our famous West Main project, where we were setting money aside, Bruce is aware of this, we set money aside for several years. And when we had on paper that we had enough money to do West Main, it wasn't in the general fund. We bought pickup trucks and.
What other communities do, they'll submit the resolutions if they wanna do Main Street, you know, from, this is gonna cost them $1 million. They sometimes won't turn in a resolution for maybe 3 to 5 years, because they wanna build that NFT account up. And then they can submit their resolution saying, we're gonna do Main Street, that's gonna cost us this much money, and then that's what they send the resolutions for. Unlike us, we send them for equipment, labor, snow removal, salt.
But that's why we do that. That's why we make a spreadsheet, so we know exactly where this money goes. If we ever are audited, then they can see where this money all goes.
All right, I think we can discuss it in greater length at one of our committee meetings or
There you
something.
go now. Are you happy now?
I will be going.
I've asked enough dumb questions that you better be happy for now.
Roll call, please.
Martin Voda,
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud, Tom Bertle.
You're not happy. You say
He's thinking of you.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Bob Heatherling,
Yes.
Bruce Jones,
Yes.
Jim Oliver.
No.
Okay, motion passes 5 in favor, 2 against, and 1 abstention. Moving on to the next resolution. PH Broughton and Sons Incorporated, the asphalt for the East Main Cross project.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Walters, second. Alderman Bud, discussion on this?
I have a couple of comments.
Oh, negative questions.
I will. The contract was not executed appropriately. There's errors in it. It has the contract date is the year 16. The corporate seals are not attached. The notaries for the contractor's bond is incorrectly filled out. And the commencement time of the contract was on October 31st, the figures could be tonight. I understood from the city clerk before the meeting that the project has already started and almost completed, and I would recommend that that not happen in the future. Why? Because the certificate of insurance that these contractors have to put up in their bonds is dependent upon executed contract, so if somebody would get hurt or something would awry on the project, you're not covered. But, you know, it's already happened, so I guess you signed a contract, but with those changes need to be made, it's not properly executed.
They haven't started the asphalt, have they?
Yeah, they started the project, they've ground today, and they're gonna pave it tomorrow.
Oh, no.
And I would recommend that not happen in the future.
But for tonight,
Approve the resolution with those changes and get the contractor to sign it tomorrow. Have it backdated so that you're covered from the commencement time of the project would be my recommendation.
okay, Alderman Walters, you amend your
I'll amend my
motion
motion, Your Honor.
Okay, Alderman Bud, amend your second. Okay. Questions?
How does this happen? My God, I mean, seriously, guys, every time that we vote on something, and if it's $5 million, we spend it pretty quick. When it's something that's $137,000, we make all sorts of mistakes. I mean, who's in charge of checking all these documents? You know, whoever's in charge of that needs to do a little bit better job, because it seems like they pop up all the time. And we're always under the gun. It's never We got 3 months. The document's wrong, we got 3 months to get it straightened out, guys. No, they started yesterday. It's always, we're always out of the gun, or if we have to submit something to the state, it has to be done next week. It's never 2 or 3 months in advance. We need to get ahead of these things. We're always doing it.
I think if we just
Reactive
keep
instead
in
of
mind that before we actually start a project, we make sure we have our ducks in a row and contractor side.
Excellent.
And that's what needs to be done, my recommendation from the legal standpoint.
Just to get it done, we probably need to have 2 more meetings.
Yes.
All right, roll call.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Marty Dorchenez.
Yes.
Ron Heberly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
You betcha, yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Moving on, an ordinance annexing certain territory to the city, this being number 2, Delmar Court.
So moved.
Alderman Dorchenez. Second by Alderman Bertle. Discussion or comment? Roll call.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Marty Dorchenez.
Yes.
Ron Heberly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Motion passes 8 votes. Which, yes, motion passes 9-0. Next, we have an ordinance annexing certain territory into the city, this being 1351 South Shumway. Have a motion by Alderman Dorchenez, second by Alderman Bertle. Discussion or comment? Roll call.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Marty Dorchenez.
Yes.
Ron Heberly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Mayor Brothers.
Yes, motion passes 9-0. This next one, I think, per the suggestion of our city attorney, we're going to table and send back to the ordinance committee for further discussion.
That's my recommendation, sir.
Okay, we got a motion to
So
table.
moved.
Alderman Jones, second by Alderman Bud. Roll call, please.
Marty Dorchenez.
Yes.
Ron Heberly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Motion to table passes 8-0. Moving on, ordinance amending subparagraph B of section 8-4-1 of chapter 4 to title of the city code regarding after-hours water service customer activation fee. Any motion?
I'll make a motion.
Bud, second.
So moved.
Walters, discussion or comment? Roll call.
Ron Heberly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Marty Dorchenez.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Next, we have an ordinance amending subparagraph A to F of section 8-4-9 of chapter 4 to title 8 of the city code regarding the bulk water rates.
So moved, Your Honor.
Walters, second.
Second.
Alderman Olive, discussion or comment? Roll call.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Marty Dorchenez.
Yes.
Ron Heberly.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Next, we have a motion to ratify hiring Lively, Matthias, Hooper, and Oblit to prepare a cash flow analysis of the enterprise and revenue funds, and authorize Mayor Brotherton and the Finance Committee Chairman Larry Bud to sign the agreement. We told them, talked to you guys before, we told them to go ahead. Second, Alderman Heberly, additional discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. When will this be in our hands?
Next week at the Finance
All
Committee.
right, thank you.
Roll call.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Marty Dorchenez.
Yes.
Ron Heberly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Okay, we have a motion to approve the agreement with Petersburg Plumbing and Excavating LLC to extend the validity of its bid for the additional 30 days through December 17, 2016. This concerning the Northeastern 30th Sanitary Sewer Phase 1 project IEPA Water Pollution Control Loan Programs, number L17-4972, and authorize Mayor Brotherton to sign the agreement for the city.
Motion, Your Honor.
Walters, second Alderman Bud, discussion or comment? Roll call.
Martin Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Marty Dorchenez.
Yes.
Ron Heberly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Next, we have a motion to approve the agreement with Petersburg Plumbing and Excavating LLC to extend the validity of its bid for an additional 30 days through December 17, 2016 concerning the Ward 2 City Park Storm Sewer Project Phase 5 Water Pollution Control Loan Program number L17-5123, and authorize Mayor Brotherton to sign the agreement for the city.
That date should be extended to December 25.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Everly, second by Alderman Voda. Discussion or comment? Roll call.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
No.
Marty Dorchenez.
Yes.
Ron Heberly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive,
Yes.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-1.
And did he bring that agreement, Rocky? Did Joe Green bring that agreement with him?
No,
Okay.
he's gonna get that signed, finished tomorrow, and
Okay.
it shows,
Next, we have a motion regarding the Christmas parade special events permit, being for downtown-Taylorville.org.
I'll make that motion with comments, Your Honor.
Walters, can I get a second? Second, Alderman Bertle, go ahead with your comment.
I'd like to let everyone know that we have in the audience, Ms. Marcia Neal, and if that's okay, I'd like to open the floor for her to make some comments regarding the Christmas parade.
Marcia?
I just want you all to come watch. We're dedicating our parade to all of our veterans this year. Particularly the World War II veterans are going to be our grand marshals, and we're going to have, I hope, I heard today from a live reenactment of a World War II. It's going to be cool. So come and watch, and if you want to help, I'll give you my number. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passes.
Thanks, Marcia.
Next, we have a motion to consider purchasing a Cat 308 excavator.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Walters, second. Second? Question, go ahead, Alderman Hadley.
Yeah, at our meeting, we was gonna put off the purchase, as it states down here in, motions coming up under street and sewer. A motion to direct Superintendent Wiseman to rent the excavator for 1 more month and refigure the purchase price, subtracting the additional rental fees and interest fees to submit to the city council for purchase consideration. So that's the way it was left at the meeting. So I'm not sure where this motion to consider purchasing, and I'm in favor of it, but not at this time, where this motion to consider purchasing comes from.
No?
Well, yeah, it came, there was a conversion worksheet now in your packets. So he got the answers to your questions, and so he asked me to put it on the agenda, and then you have that document in front of you that shows you how they were applying the monies.
I have a question. The minutes reflect the purchase price of $87,421.19. The conversion worksheet shows a purchase price of $93,500. I just point that out, the discrepancy.
And part of our rent is gonna take it down to that next number, I believe, right, this month's rent?
It's gonna take it down to 73, I think.
That's on 93,500.
72,300.
Purchase price.
Okay, but we rented it.
We was gonna rent it to the end of the month and then purchase it. If we rent it to the end of the month, it'd pay it at 73,000 is what we owe.
So all the rentals we've been doing lately, they're going, if we decide to buy it, we'll go towards it.
Purchase.
And that's how it gets down to that number, right?
Yep. I'm just pointing out in the minutes says the purchase price of $87 instead of $93,500 and then deducting the rent. I didn't know if that was an error in the transcription of the
Don't worry, we
minutes.
started that. Get the minutes right.
Right.
So we'll amend those, whatever the right number is.
Yes. And if you proceed with this, you have to make a motion to waive bidding.
Well, I don't have a second yet, so. I don't know, Walters, anyone want to second this, or it'll die for lack of a second? Once? One twice?
I'll second it so that we can get a vote on it.
Bud? All right,
I have a question.
Alderman Heberlin.
Okay, now, again, I'm in favor of this purchase. I'm not opposed to it. I bring these questions up because it's different than what I remember the conversation being at committee. The suggestion was to pay for it out of the water fund. And I'm almost positive in my mind that we scrubbed that idea, even though it was a good idea. And we thank Alderman Dorchenez for presenting that option to us. But if the purchase price was going to be split between the two parties, the water department and the street fund, or street department, the water department would take care of their portion of it, but the portion from the street department through the treasurer's office, out of the budget in the street department. Now, that's the way I remember it. And I'll support that, but I won't support any purchase for a street department portion of this indirect water.
That's both superintendents here. Is that your understanding, Dave and Rick?
Well, the night that we talked about it, we was gonna split it down the middle. Dave would pay half and I would pay half. Out of my budget and out of his budget.
So is that what we're voting to do?
I'm asking the question.
Well, we can put that in the motion, if that's what we want to do, if everyone's okay with that,
And to waive bids.
and you waive bids.
I'll amend my motion, Your Honor, to state that, make a new motion.
All right, amend yours.
I have a question. In regards to the minute, it says Superintendent White is gonna make payments. Is that true? He's gonna make payments to the water department?
If that's the way it was gonna come, if the water department was gonna pay for it, we was gonna pay the water department back in payments. Of $5,300 a month.
So, well, I think you're gonna float the loan, basically you're floating that department alone, right?
It was my suggestion that the funds come out of the water fund and to save the city from having to pay any interest. Okay? And so it wouldn't cost us anything. It's just like we've done before, and it's not that much money that it wouldn't take very long to get it paid off.
We just paid $54,000 for changes to a design on our water treatment facility due to the fact that we don't have the revenues coming in to pay for what the original plan was. And now I'm reading in here, it says, and nothing against Mr. Dorson is, but he recommends taking the money from the water fund for the initial purchase of the superintendent Wiseman being obligated to pay $5,300 a month to pay this back and take it out of the water fund. We've got a water plant to pay for, gentlemen. We can't be taking money out of here. We just repaid the water fund over, what, 3 or 4 years, $200,000 a year to get it back to where it was solid. And now we're gonna start borrowing again because we don't have the finances in place to purchase this piece of equipment. If you don't have the monies to buy a new home, you rent. Therefore, if you don't have the money to buy a new piece of equipment, you continue to rent. Once the monies become available, then you purchase. Because of that, I will be voting no on this purchase. I want to say continue to rent as long as it's needed.
Any other comments?
Did you see what the amount we're paying for
Yes, I
rent?
did.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Every time
And
every time there was a loan taken out of the water budget to help finance expenses, it was the same type of loan. It was a small loan, but they accumulated because we never had them paid back. Now we're in a position where we've increased water rates, doubled them. We have an increase in sanitary district rates that is not our control. We have people in this community who are unable to pay their water bills in a timely manner. And we're going to continue to utilize the water fund to buy equipment. As long as we can lease this and rent it, I think that's the way to go.
Alderman Burlow.
I don't care one way or another. I don't want to borrow money from the water department after we just paid back $1 million. So if we have funds somewhere else to purchase this, and, whoever's in charge of that, needs to come forward tonight and say where it's gonna come from. If not, I'm gonna have to vote no, because I don't want to borrow any.
I don't think we're paying out of the budget for the street service water.
Kathy, you're shaking your head, yes?
Yes, I was gonna make a comment. Why don't you just buy it outright, Dave pays his half, the other half comes out of the general fund, Dick's line item, Dave's line item.
We can do that.
Everyone understands that's part of the motion, that's where we're gonna do it, right? And we're gonna waive the bids.
All right, if I can ask,
Yes.
those line items that were in there for that amount, were they earmarked for specific purchases? And now we're changing our mind and we're going with something else?
In the budget, it was, if I'm honest, there was an excavator listed.
Right.
Yes.
What's for the backhoe?
For a backhoe.
And same with yours, Dave?
Sorry.
Was that also with yours also? The line item was for the excavator?
No, I had for a mini in there while I passed it off. So
You're gonna do this instead of lieu of your mini.
Oh,
You're gonna do this instead of getting the mini this year, right?
yes, correct.
And the street department's gonna do this and we'll do the backup. Right?
No,
So the excavator.
yes,
The excavator was on there.
On the budget. Minutes is backup.
Backhoe. I guess that's in the line, same backhoe.
This is
Oh, maybe not.
Backhoe never was on.
Are we ready to take a vote? Roll call.
Larry Bud.
No.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Al Walters.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-1. We have a motion to accept the low quote of Benton Associates for not to exceed $890 for the dam inspection at Lake Taylorville.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Okay. Get a second on that? Second. Alderman Bud, discussion or comment?
Comment?
Go ahead with comment.
I would like to thank Superintendent Jackson for going out and taking bids on this. In the past, I think it's the second year we've done this, if I remember correctly, did this actual process. And we've been able to save a substantial amount of money to the city on this. And just Mr. Jackson came up with the idea of bidding, and I think it was well worth the efforts. Thank you.
$900 savings.
Any other comment? Alderman Jones.
Yeah, on the front it says $890, and on the back it says $1,790.
That's green.
That's Joe Green.
That's Joe
That was
Green.
it? Okay. All right, roll call.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Al Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Brings us to city attorney updates.
In addition to the travel expense policy and drug overdose response policies on the ordinance committee, I'm going to suggest that you also place the issue of the new civil law violations that's come out when we received court, and also
Is that on the marijuana use?
what's that?
The civil penalties, that's on the marijuana, right?
I think that's gonna be on there. Then also, we got notification that a recent case law has come out that, we meet with the judge about how these ordinance violation costs can be assessed or not. There's new forms that have to be filled out. We may have to talk about that towards the meeting. Other than that, the November 18th is the first appearance call for the 2-count lawsuit that we filed against Brian Moses, your farm tenant. Any of you are welcome to attend that hearing if you wish. And also the mayor has scheduled a meeting with EJ Water Company coming up here this Thursday, I believe, at 2 o'clock. So with Alderman Dorchenez to discuss what they have in mind, what they want to do. And we'll report back to you later. Any questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
The thanks for the agenda. We've already made the agenda. Give me those so I can double check with the city clerk to make sure that we have those all.
Travel expense, drug overdose, response policy, the building permit ordinance that we just tabled this evening, and the marijuana or cannabis ordinance, and then the new forms and procedures for ordinance violation complaints assessment cost.
Any other questions for the city attorney? All right. Mayor updates, I have nothing, so we can keep moving. Committee reports, discussions and or motions to approve, adopt, and or deny, and or table, and or amend, or refer to appropriate committee in whole or in part the matters regarding the following subject matters discussed at committee level. Street and Sewer Committee.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion that the city be responsible for the amount allowed on the sidewalk and guttering for the replacement program for the 400 block of West Market.
Second.
Second.
Heavily, discussion and comment. Roll call.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heatherly.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Al Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0.
The next one, Your Honor, we've already done that for the resolution for the MFT. And we've already resolved the third motion, Your Honor.
I think I slipped in that first motion there. This is on that replacement program on 400 block East Market.
Right.
What's the intent there?
Incentive.
The minutes were a little confusing to me. It looked like Tullis Excavating had a bid in there for about $13,000. The city was gonna donate $5,000, what would normally cost them for labor.
Right.
You've got to make sure then that Tullis charges prevailing wage. The fact that you donate what you have already spent doesn't get you out of the prevailing wage.
We've already covered that,
Okay.
yes.
We're good.
And the person is agreed to pay the balance. of that amount of money.
And tell us we're gonna be doing per day with, right? Okay,
Yes.
that's good.
Your Honor, just for clarification on the last motion that Mr. Walters would have read, the only reason I supported that was because it was from that line item that was in the budget of both departments, it was from that water fund directly, that it was something that would have been planned for, so that is why I supported it.
All right, let's move on to public facilities.
Thank you. We have a motion to have the two separate appraisals done. Now, these are on the main gagging building and on the small machine shed, just to the east of it. And, speaking to Rocky this evening, he is going to motion passed to proceed with the proper paperwork and resolutions, I'm assuming, to move this forward. So I'm looking for a motion to approve that.
Make a motion, can I get a second?
Second.
Heberlin, my only question is, this has to be, probably be a commercial, appraiser, and we couldn't find one when we were looking for the properties at the First National Bank and all, we ended up having to go outside of town. I don't know how much you guys wanna spend on this. To get the appraisal.
The statute requires an
Yeah.
MAI appraisal, which is a higher certification to do
Right.
that.
Right, so what I'm saying, is, say it costs $5,000, where do we have money set aside for that? Because what happens after these meetings is Jackie says, now where are we gonna get this from?
Well.
Building fund, it's a little tight right now.
Your Honor talked about you have to find an appraiser that's a commercial property. You're saying it has to be an MAI, that's the only requirement, MAI appraiser.
Well, that, yes, but that
That's
was
not a commercial appraiser.
Well, MAI, residential, commercial, industrial, what have you, it's a higher grade.
Okay.
I think, from what I looked at the minutes here, you haven't decided how you wanna sell this. You got a couple options. You can do it at public auction, you can do it at a private sale, or a bidding process, a private bidding process, or, as was I saw in the minutes, they were suggesting an exchange agreement. You know, that's possibly, but the goal start base one is how much do you wanna, you know, what's your, depending where you go, you gotta get at least 80% of the appraisal price. So your first step is to get a number for the property. So maybe you want to just authorize at this point, getting some quotes for some bidding to find out how much more you're talking about. It's gonna be 5,000, and you guys wanna spend 5,000 on appraisal, I don't know.
You don't have to choose from where we come from. That's all I want to find out tonight, where's it gonna come from.
Right. That'd be your first step, get it appraised, and then once you get it, then you can direct me as to, well, how do you want this done? You want an exchange, you want a public auction, you want a private sale, and I'll prepare the orders accordingly.
Understood. So, if we're gonna move forward with it, then I guess the bottom line is we're gonna have to find the money to pay for the appraisal on it, or it's just dead, it's just sitting there going nowhere, doing nothing.
We had to find a line item in a different, the building expenditures are very, very tight right now. Some things aren't budgeted for, so, that's why. So we would have to look into maybe the administration fund, possibly.
We'll depend on the city treasurer to find a place.
Well, there's two things you mentioned, the appropriations, all you have to live by, we're not a budget type community. The budget we have, appropriation is a legal ability to spend the outside limits. So if you got your, look at your appropriation list, if you got line items, you can pigeonhole that in, or under contingency, that's where you would go. Your budget is just the kind of a guideline to say, okay, now that we've got the outside limit, this is what we got the money, this is how we want to spend it.
Also, on the notion, why this is on the agenda is because somebody, a person has purchased the house next to the Gagney building, okay? And that person has no, he's landlocked in the back, he has no back, access to his backyard. So he's interested in buying the separate machine, used to be a machine shop there. And we said that we can't sell it to an individual, but you can exchange the property, or maybe to boot or whatever. Okay. And that person has some property outside the city limits.
But what has muddied the waters is the fact that now somebody else has come forward and said they want to purchase the property, okay? My question to you is, what do you do in the event that that person is willing to buy the property in exchange? How do you go about doing that? Because that's, we've never been confronted with that before.
You take the best bid. That is what amounts to. If you say you had a public auction or you just had a sealed bids, you take the highest responsible bidder, and same with exchanges. If you have two people
So you
that want
don't,
to
you,
offer
exchange is out of the question then?
No, exchange could be in question. You just pick the best exchange agreement that's best for the city.
Okay.
What are you gonna get in exchange for?
Okay.
Do we, who appraises the property they might be trading?
Well, that, you would look at their appraisal, or you could appraise it yourself. I mean, it's up to you. Your appraisal is required for the property you own that you're going to sell. And then you look at what their party is offering. If you don't agree with what their appraiser says it's worth, you go out and get your own to see how close you are. Appraisers don't agree. They have 10 to 15%.
By law, you probably have to have an appraisal. It seems like a big prudent thing, obviously. So is there a law that says if we're
Well,
gonna
you got, yes,
exchange
because you're
property?
gonna have to, you have to make sure that you take this and that. So.
On the trade, piece of property in Ernie, is that the same one we talked about last week? That Mr. Wells at? I did, I and Alderman Bud went and looked at that day after I talked to Superintendent Wiseman. And in my opinion, that piece of property would really be of no use to the city. It's a very small shed type building on a piece of property that is, I just don't see where it could possibly be of any use whatsoever. It'd just be another piece that we'd have to spend money on. And I think the whole idea behind this is to allow access to sell the machine shed and sell the gangbang to make money, not pick up another piece of property to spend money on.
All right, so we have a motion to have the appraisal done. And the city treasurer will decide where she's gonna take that money from. So we have a motion by Alderman Olive, second by Alderman Heberlin. Roll call, please.
Rob Heberlin.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Next, we have a motion to have city engineer Joe Green inspect the fire station for possible solutions to the water problems. I'll make that motion.
Just before we make a motion on that, I spoke to Mr. Green this evening, and he did take a copy of the blueprints. We didn't hardly have enough time to really go over any detail. And he's going to kind of evaluate them and get back to us before we, I don't know that the motion is what we need at the present time. I'd like to table that.
Second.
We have a motion tabled by Olive, second by Alderman Heberlin. Roll call and tabling.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heberlin.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0 and is tabled.
Okay. Have a motion to allow Ricky Fleming to do plumbing repairs to his building, outlining the proposal for the price of $5,241.29. And this was, Ernie had wanted to know what kind of warranty it had, and I did verify that on a commercial type faucet that there's a 5-year warranty. So I'd like to have a motion.
Second.
Well, Alderman Heberlin. Additional discussion or comment? Roll call.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Bertle.
Yes.
Bernie Dorchenez.
Yes.
Rob Heberlin.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes. Motion passes 8-0. Moving on to Emergency Services Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank Mr. Olive for chairing that committee. There was only one motion
Did a
on
great
that,
job.
so. I'll read your motion, so I don't have to get through that. Motion to allow the prosecutor to proceed with the application process for an AFG grant. Make that motion.
Get a second on that. Jones, discussion or comment? Roll call.
Mark Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Rudolph Ness.
Yes.
Rob Heatherling.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Oliver.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Moving on to Personnel Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have a motion to allow Superintendent Spiegel to bid and/or advertise an equipment operator one position in the water department.
Okay, a second on that.
Second, Sean.
Walters, discussion or comment? Roll call.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Rudolph Ness.
Yes.
Rob Heatherling.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Oliver.
Yes.
Mark Voda.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0.
We have a motion to allow City Clerk Pam Peabody to bid and/or advertise an office level 3 in the city clerk office.
A second on that?
Second.
Discussion or comment? Roll call.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Rudolph Ness.
Yes.
Rob Heatherling.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Oliver.
Yes.
Mark Voda.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0.
We have a motion to direct the mayor to send a letter to the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners to hire a replacement police officer from the new eligibility list.
Second.
Second, Alderman Bertle. Discussion or comment? Roll call.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Rudolph Ness.
Yes.
Rob Heatherling.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Oliver.
Yes.
Mark Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0.
We have a motion to direct the mayor to send a letter to the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners to hire a replacement police officer from the eligibility list pending a resignation notice from the employee.
Second.
Alderman Bertle. Discussion or comment? Roll call.
Rudolph Ness.
Yes.
Rob Heatherling.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Oliver. Mark Voda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Okay, finally, we have a motion to approve and ratify payment of bills in the amount of $467,870.40. Bud?
Second.
Second, Alderman Bertle. Go ahead, Alderman Bud.
Insurance, $117,798.96. Healthcare tax, $1,553.79. Illinois Public Risk for workers' comp for December, $23,071. Total insurance is $142,423.75. Electric, $19,326.50. Telephone, $1,107.42. Garbage, $5,614.69. Big R, Ace, Ron's, and Walmart, miscellaneous, $3,323.64. Office supplies, $2,196.98. Altor for $13,451.68. Tyler Technology for software, $1,015.80. Lively Mathis Hooper for the analysis, $1,881.25. Meyer, Austin, and Romano, $6,000. Green and Bradford, $4,968.75. Vincent Robinson for roof repairs, $8,865. Flint Trading for marking tape, $2,360.64. Lewis Marsh, $2,466. TBI, $14,214.75. Bill Clolis, $13,477. Whitlow Septic Services, $2,325. IMCO for supplies, $1,982. United Capital Funding for summer help, $6,229.44. Illinois Mo, $1,897.74. Police and Fire for training, $2,284.10. Police Department, Verizon Wireless for phones, $1,304.22. Fire Department, CFS inspections for ladder testing, $1,354. Motorola Solutions for the upgrades, $4,091.39. Psycho Corp, Control Corp for the cardiac monitor, $23,914.24, and this will be reimbursed. Street Department, Blueville Garage for repairs and batteries, $1,036.88. Grunwall Building for the sidewalk, $6,000. Roland Machinery, gearbox motor, $1,318.02. Woody's Municipal Supply for snowplow parts, $1,419.66. Water Department, Benton and Associates, $22,605. Chemicals, $16,542.02. Midwest Meter for new meters and supplies, $13,498.10. Sewer Department, J.F. Cody for spillway manhole, $1,030. CNB Bank and Trust for the Vector loan payment number 3, $47,498.06. more concrete for the storm sewer work over on Main Cross, into Main Cross, $44,688. Ronald Emerson, repair Vector truck tank, $3,500. Lake Department, lake lot refunds, $1,300, and these total to $448,430.54.
Thank you. Any questions regarding the bills? Roll call, please.
Bob Hemerling.
Yes.
Bruce Jones.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Martin Boda.
Yes.
Earl Walters.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes.
Sean Burdell.
Yes.
Ray Dorchenez.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. Okay, first paragraph G of 5 ILCS 120/2.06. This portion of the city council meeting is reserved for any person wishing to address the council on any relevant subject matters concerning the city. Would anyone out there like to address the council?
Yes, Your
Alderman
Honorable.
Walton.
Gentlemen and ladies in the audience, tomorrow is a very important day, not because I've been doing a lot of work trying to get the election process going, but I would please advise every one of you to vote tomorrow. I don't care what politic you are, what party you are, please exercise your right and go to the polls tomorrow and vote. Thank you.
Alderman Boda.
After looking at Mr. Dorchenez's, his agenda for his meeting for his water and environmental, I opted not to have a Lake Airport Committee meeting, because I didn't think we'd have enough hours that evening, so Mr. Dorchenez will have the floor all evening.
We appreciate that. Alderman Boda.
Just remember, next Wednesday will be finance and ordinance instead of Thursday.
Thank you. Anyone else?
A week from.
Alderman Jones.
Congratulations to the Chicago Cubs. We're in the heart of Illinois, and even though we don't claim Chicago for many things, we do claim them for the Cubs this year.
Absolutely.
Chicago's not those Illinois. Yeah. All right, seeing no additional items on the agenda, I entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. So moved. Second by Alderman Burrow. Discussion or comment? All those in favor? Aye. Yes, motion passes.
Can you make it?
Adjourns 8-11.